The bus came to a stop. Mr. Zawa stood up and announced we were here. Everyone on the bus got up and exited the bus orderly. We stood in front of this giant building. Wow, I thought. I turned my head and saw Yazurozu and the girls and decided to walk over to them. Bakugo's POV. I turned my head to the right and she was leaving my side. Couldn't help but stare at her leave. It felt nice sitting and talking with her. What the hell's wrong with me? This feeling, I hate it, but I don't like what you see, huh, Bakugo? Yeah, me too. Kirishima's Kaminari smirked, staring at her. I don't like how he was staring at her. Shut up, dice face, I shouted at him. Hey man, calm down. I mean, have you seen her? She's hot. In that costume, like, whoa, Kaminari exclaimed with his hands up in defeat. I scoffed and turned my head. Of course I knew she was hot. I just hated hearing it from him. Do you think she has a boyfriend? I was, thinking of asking her out on a date, Kirishima nervously said, grabbing his neck. Like hell she'd go out with a shitty-haired loser like you, I shouted at him. Dude, calm down, Kaminari said calmingly. You're acting like you like... Kaminari began before I interrupted him. I said shut up, I shouted at him. I scoffed and turned my head to where she was, and there she was, your name, smiling and laughing. Was that dice face really going to say that I like her, that stupid girl? We were shortly greeted by a pro hero, 13. Let's go so you can see what's inside, 13 exclaimed. As we walked in, the whole class gasped at the sight. There were mountains, a lake, a city, a forest, fires, and other storms. It was enormous. 13 began explaining what we were going to learn and use our quirks to save lives, not battling but helping others. Now that's over. Let's get started by, as all began before we got interrupted. The lights began to dim and a purple and black portal appeared. Out came a purple and black mist ghost-looking thing, and after him a pale guy with a hand over his face had popped out. Mr. Ozawa tensed up and looked over his shoulder. His expression changed from his usual expression self to a worried expression when he glared at them. Stay together. Everyone stay together. 13, protect them, he shouted. We were all confused. Is this part of our training? Like more scary looking people and things started coming out of the large portal. Everyone stay back. This is real. And those are real villains, he shouted as he put his goggles. Everyone's explanation was scared and shocked. Crap, are you serious? I felt a knot in my throat. I'm scared. Ozawa jumped ahead and faced the army. I let out gasp as I saw him begin to fight them alone. Let's go now, 13 shouted as she started running to the entrance. The whole class began to run behind her. I ran and I felt my heart 100 mph. Suddenly, a black portal appeared in front of us, and the purple ghost villain appeared in front of us. There's no escape for you, he said while blocking the door. Crap, I thought. I felt myself thinking I'm about to die. No, we have to fight too. We have to fight for our lives if there's an army of villains. Ozawa and 13 can't do it alone, speaking realistically. I think it's time to play, the villain said. Bakugo and Kirishima jumped to attack. Bakugo, no, I yelled out uncontrollably. A bunch of dust gathered and clouded our vision. I was trying to block the wind with my arms, trying to see if they were okay. The smoke started clearing up quickly, and I caught a glimpse of Kirishima's red pointy hair. I looked to his side, and there he was. The villain then wrapped us in a portal. Then suddenly I dropped from the sky and began to fall. I saw a building quickly approaching as I fell, so I began to float. I managed to stop in time before crashing into it. I heard a couple of grunts. I turned and looked around. I saw Bakugo and Kirishima. I flew to where they were, which was a few meters from me. Darn that villain, Bakugo scoffed, standing up quick. Hey, over here, I shouted to them as I flew down. They both glanced up and saw me. I landed in front of them. I guess they split everyone up. We should be careful. There's 3 of us. If we work together, we should be okay, I exclaimed, looking around at our surroundings. Bakugo let out a scoff. I don't need help. I'll defeat those villains on my own, he exclaimed annoyingly and began to reach for the door. Hey, I can fly us to the bottom. It'll be quicker, and you don't know what's waiting for us in there, I suggested. He glared at me through the corner of his eye. I can land on my own. I don't need your darn help, idiot. He shouted at his explosion projected him into the air. I gasped and looked over the edge. He landed safely. A little survived sigh. He was okay. Hurry the fuck up, he shouted, looking at us. I turned to face Kirishima and held up my hand. Don't worry, I can float us safely. Trust me, I assured and smiled at him. He gave me a slight smile and hugged me. Okay, hold tight, I assured him, and he wrapped his arms around my waist tightly. I wrapped my arms around his waist so he wouldn't dangle as we flew. He was taller than me, so he was towering a bit over me. I felt his body slightly shake, so looked up and saw him blushing. I couldn't help but smile. Okay, ready? I asked one last time, smiling. He closed his eyes and nodded his head. We began to float very slowly up. He wasn't that heavy, but I did struggle a bit. I wasn't used to flying people. We floated over the edge and at a speedy pace and began to recede. I heard a grunt. I began to grunt a bit. That worried Kirishima. Oh gosh, we're going down, aren't we? Kirishima shouted while hugging my waist even tighter. I gasped at how tight he was clinging on. I looked up at him. Hey, calm down. We're on the ground already. I assured him, patting his back, already letting go of him. Oh, I knew that. He awkwardly chuckled out and released my waist. I turned and saw Bakugo glaring at him, gritting his teeth. He was blushing. I didn't think much of it. Okay, guys, let's go help our friends, I exclaimed while beginning to walk forward. I looked back to see if they were following me, but Bakugo was glaring at Kirishima still. All right, let's go, Kirishima agreed, walking with me. Hello, Bakugo, come on, I yelled at him with my hands on my hips. He looked over to me and scoffed. Don't tell me what to do, you darn short extra, he yelled as he leaped ahead of us. He was going fast. Come on, Kirishima, we have to keep up, I said while grabbing his hand. I ran, leading him, then started to float to catch up to Bakugo. Bakugo had stopped and stood like he was about to pounce into a fight. Once I caught up, and we were both with our feet on the ground. Hey, why do you stop? I asked him calmly, then turned my head to where he was staring at. There was a group of villains waiting for us, and they looked ready to fight. Looks like they want to die, Bakugo yelled as he jumped to them, and then blasted an explosion, taking out 2 of the 5. I was about to run into the action, too, but I felt an arm hold me back. Your name, stay here, we'll protect you, Kirishima yelled as he ran past me to take out one of them. What the hell? What am I, a damsel in distress? I immediately followed after. No thanks, I can fight too, I shouted as I jumped high and kicked the last one on the head, knocking him out and accidentally cutting off Bakugo as he was making his way to attack him. You idiot, I had him, he shouted at me. Oh, shush, I replied while scrunching my face in annoyance. Dude, come on, we're working together, Kirishima exclaimed to him. I don't need idiots like you telling me what to do or how to fight, or when to fight, he shouted super angrily. As he was having a tantrum, a shadow appeared behind him. It was a creepy-looking villain getting ready to whop his claws behind Bakugo. My eyes widened at the sight, and without even thinking, I manifested an energy ball from my hands. Don't move, I shouted at Bakugo as I shot it at the villain. The blast brushed past Bakugo's head and headshot the villain. His eyes widened, and he turned around to see the villain lying on the floor. Wow, your name, that was amazing, Kirishima boosted. I ran next to Bakugo, looking at the weak, knocked-out villain. Looks like you owe me, I told him, slightly smiling. I patted his chest and ran ahead. Come on, you guys. I see our friends ahead. We have to hurry, I shouted while running. She's right. Let's go, dude. Kirishima quickly agreed and ran behind me. Bakugo blasted past me, and soon we came face to face with Deku, Todoroki, and All Might. This is USJ Part 2. Bakugo jumped into action and knocking down the purple ghost villain and held him down. As he was holding him down, an angry, gigantic buff bird thing was attacking All Might. What is that thing? I yelped in disgust. Stay back, All Might yelled at us, holding out his arm. The black bird they call Nomu turned his attention to Bakugo and went to attack him. Look out, Todoroki yelled and yanked my arm to get out of the way of the attack. Suddenly a giant gust of wind knocked us all out. I hadn't seen anything, just felt the strong gust blow me away with a great force. I didn't react. It was all happening so fast. I felt an instant pain on my back and the back of my head. My body got thrown into a wall nearby. Suddenly, I felt really dizzy. I stood back up and fell on my knees. The pain was too sharp on my head. I heard everyone's voice muffled. I looked towards the direction of the guys. They all turned around and were staring my direction. When I saw them turn sideways, weird, my vision got blurry and eventually went black. I opened my eyes and saw a bright light. I turned my head and noticed I was lying on a bed. I shot up, confused, looking around. "Oh, good, you're awake, sweetie," I heard a soft, sweet voice say. I looked to where the voice came from, and I saw a sweet little old lady. It was a recovery girl. I smiled at her. "What happened?" I asked, then gasped. "The USJ, what happened? Is everyone okay? How did I get here?" I began asking loudly and worriedly. "Oh, dear, take it easy and calm down. You're fine. Everyone is fine. Oh, except your teacher, Mr. Zawa. Poor thing. He got the worst of the accident. Everyone had cuts and bruises. Just you and Izuku were injured," she exclaimed. I shot up. "Deku, is he okay?" I shouted out. "Oh, yes, dear. He broke his hand, but he left already just a while ago," she exclaimed. "You had someone check up on you twice," she said as she looked at my temperature. Who? Was it my parents?" I asked. "Oh, no, dear. They didn't answer when we tried contacting them. It was a spiky-haired boy with a really bad temper," she exclaimed, walking past to a white paper on the vials. "Wait a minute. Bakugo? You said twice," I asked her, blushing. "Ah, yes. He seemed very independent and checked on you 2 times," she said, smiling. "Is he your boyfriend?" she snickered out. "What? Him? No. Well, I don't have a boyfriend, but it wouldn't be him." I began panicking and bluttering out. Boyfriend, not exactly boyfriend material." "Okay, sweetheart, you're all set. Do you need a ride home?" she asked kindly. No. I'm okay to walk. Thank you so much." I bowed and thanked her. "When you get home, take a painkiller and get your rest. You need it," she sternly said, pointing her finger at me. I smiled and nodded my head, turned around and began to walk out. It was getting dark, so I should rush home. I began to walk out to school. My back is killing me. I just want to get home so I can sleep. I checked my phone, but my parents were working late. I bet they don't even know what happened. As I sped walking out the main entrance, I heard someone call me. "Hey, short stuff, finally took you long enough," Bakugo muttered out. He was leaning up against the wall alone with his hands in his pocket. After you showed up, he leaned off the wall and walked up to you. "How you feeling?" he asked calmly. I'm okay. My back and head hurt a bit. The recovery girl told me to hurry home and get some rest," I exclaimed to him. "Let's go then," he muttered out, walking past me. I stared at him confused, turning around, looking at me. "Well, are you coming or not?" He asked, starting to get annoyed. Go where?" I asked, holding the back of my head. "Home, you idiot! I'm walking you home," he shouted while blushing. My eyes widened, but then I smiled and walked next to him. I looked at him smiling, then nodded my head, and we began to walk. "So, what happened after I knocked out?" I asked him. Bakugo scoffed. "All Might saved everyone," he muttered out. "Details!" I whispered out, looking at him. "All Might kicked the Namu's ass. All the teachers came to the rescue, and the main villains recruited," he muttered out. "Did you get hurt?" I asked him, not even looking at him. I felt embarrassed when I asked him that, but I was concerned. I heard him click his tongue. "No," he muttered out. "Good," I smiled, feeling like I was blushing. Suddenly, I felt a sharp pain on my back and stopped me in my tracks and made me kneel on my knee. "Ugh," I groaned, holding my back. "Hey, what's wrong?" Bakugo asked, trying to figure out what happened. "I saw you holding your back. Tears ran down your face." "I can't. It hurts. Call for help." I started to cry and tried to catch my breath. Suddenly, Bakugo grabbed my arm, making me stand up. "I can't," Bakugo continued to cry. He threw my arm around his shoulder and picked me up bridal style. "Don't worry, short stuff. Almost home," he calmly said. I began to calm down. I felt the pain pulsing in and out, but being carried made it hurt way less. I couldn't help but stare at Bakugo's face. He was being so nice to me and considerate. Who is this guy? His face was soft. He blinked hard and scoffed at me. "What the hell are you staring at?" I couldn't help but smile and rest my head on his shoulders. "Nothing," I smirked out. I felt his body tense up as he continued to walk. Darn you, short stuff, he muttered out, whispering. What? I replied, shooting my head up. He looked down at me, furrowing his eyebrows. Nothing, he grumpily said. You know what? This is night. I started out before I got interrupted by him. There, I walked you home and even carried you. I don't owe you nothing now, he muttered out while placing my feet gently on the ground. Oh, he only brought me home so he didn't owe me? Ouch, that hurt. I thought he waited for me because he cared. Oh, okay, thanks, I said plainly as I got my keys out of my backpack. I opened the door and was about to walk inside when he spoke up. Hey, Bakugo called out. I stepped back out the door. He was looking at me, slightly frowning, and his hands in his pockets. What is it? I asked, staring at him, confused. Don't forget that I'm gonna kick your ass at the arcade, he worked out, giving me a devious smile. You're so going down, I smirked back. Tomorrow or what? He asked grumpily. Tomorrow? So soon? I doubt I'll be allowed to go after today's accident. I'll let you know, I replied, uncertain. He turned and began to walk towards me. He reached in his pocket and handed me his phone. I looked at his phone, confused at him. I looked at his phone, then at him, so very confused. You give me your phone? You idiot, I'm handing you my phone so you can give me your number, he shouted. But I noticed a slight blush. Can you shut up? I have freaking neighbors, I yelled. He scoffed and rolled his eyes as he still held out his phone. I grabbed it and dialed my number, and I handed it back to him. He reached for it. Before he could grab it, I lifted it out of his reach. His eyes widened and furrowed his eyebrows. You better not give my number to your buddies, I scoffed at him. He clicked his tongue and rolled his eyes. Like Hollywood would. Those idiots wouldn't leave you alone, I muttered, annoyed. Exactly. You better not, I smirked. Relax, short stuff, he muddled. He reached for his phone again, but I took it out of his reach again. You're really pissing me off now, he shouted as I interrupted him, getting close to the point where our chests were touching. His eyes widened as I kept eye contact. Better text me, I whispered, smiling, then stepped back. He stood motionless, staring at me with his cinnamon eyes. Good night, and thanks, Bakugo, I smirked and walked into my house, closing the door behind me. I leaned back on the door. I couldn't believe that just happened. I felt my whole body and my face red. I felt butterflies in my tummy. I was definitely super flustered. Now all I can think about is when he'll text me. I walked to the kitchen and dug out painkillers from the kitchen cabinet. I took two and I climbed to my bed. My back was killing me. Hopefully it's better in the morning. I turned everything off and stared at the ceiling. Man, that was scary today. Today could have gone so much worse if we weren't fearless. But what a way to end it. Why can't I stop thinking about him? I felt myself smiling so big right now. I turned to my side and closed my eyes and fell asleep. So that was the end of both episodes of 2 more episodes of the Bakugo X reader. So yeah, that means we still have a lot to go. But I really didn't feel like making a video today, but because I didn't want to let you guys down, because so many of you wanted another part, I just you know what, let's do it. And then yeah, but sorry I was taking a bit of a break from this. It's just there's so many episodes in it, so I might post other ones with different actual little stories from different people. But if you have anyone you want, like a Deku one or a Kaminari one or something like that, just comment who you want in the comments and I will definitely try to find one for it. But having that said, please like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, my peeps.